why don't I just run an emergency practice out of my existing practice? We get that question a lot. The reality is that it's very difficult to convert your existing practice into an emergency practice. There's a few different reasons. Reason number one is that we've set up On-Demand Dentist to not have any kind of lab equipment, not be able to do any kind of restorative work, and what that allows us to do is actually receive referrals from other doctors. So the dentist down the street on a Friday afternoon wants to go golfing, he has a patient call in, he knows he can reliably refer that patient to On-Demand Dentist and get that patient back on Monday. That patient might need an extraction done on a Friday afternoon, and on Monday he can go in and do the bridge or do the implant. So the valuable work and the work that he likes to do, he can still have that patient. We don't have the ability to steal a patient from a neighboring dentist because we don't do recare, we don't do crown and bridge, we don't do any kind of restorative work, and we're not set up with the capability to do that type of work. So that really allows us to receive referrals from not only emergency rooms and urgent cares, hotels, convention centers, but also from neighboring dentists, which is a really unique situation within dentistry. The other problem with opening an emergency practice within your practice is that they're two totally different paradigms. So if a patient calls in at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and you've got a full schedule that day, you're not going to be able to see that patient on an emergency basis. It's just not going to work out. And if you're not willing to stick around late that day, or you don't want to come in on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, then you're not going to be able to see that patient. You're not really going to be able to run an effective emergency practice. Now the other thing is that your systems probably aren't set up to allow simplicity for you to come in as the dentist on your own and see that patient. A lot of times, if you're going to see a patient on a Saturday morning, let's say you take insurance, you also have to have somebody from the front desk come in to help with the insurance, help collect the payment. You might need an assistant for the work. Our practice is set up so you don't need any of that. So when you try to do that in your own practice, that patient that you saw on an emergency basis is costing you a lot more because you have a lot higher overhead on that and bringing in other staff, paying overtime, using more materials, you're using more labor time, more labor costs. So it can be a lot more expensive to run an emergency practice out of your practice. When you use the On-Demand Dentist model, we have the system set up to keep costs low and to make it very easy to move forward and maintain your existing practice and have the emergency practice on the side.